Hello, everyone. It's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. One of the things that we got in that webinar about production, like last week, is that there was the first official picture of the off-road variant of the Aptera. And this is a pretty low resolution picture because I got it from as a screen capture from the video, so the resolution isn't very high. But you can see here, if you compare it to, let's see, this is the launch edition of the non-off-road version. If you look at these two, hold on, let me get that, and then that, so we can switch back and forth easily. Okay, if you look at the differences, there is no change apparently in the actual lift of the vehicle. The belly pan looks like it's about the same distance from the ground. So I think they've mentioned that the off-road version initially, very, very early on, there was talks of maybe lifting the vehicle and giving it more ground clearance at the belly pan level. But the off-road variant is essentially just a difference in the wheel covers. And so you'll see here that the wheel covers um, are not as low to the ground, and they do not tail off in the back. It gets kind of chopped off in the back. And that's probably important because you've noticed in some of the videos as the wheel turns, the wheel pants can't forward and backward, and that has to do with the kingpin inclination. In cars that don't have wheel covers, they all do that. The wheels tilt around its rotating axes forward and backward, but because it's a round structure, it's totally imperceptible. You can't tell. But with the wheel covers that are linked to the actual suspension and to the of the wheel, it does cant forward and backward due to kingpin inclination. And if you have a long tail, when you can't, the clearance at the bottom gets very, very low as you turn one right or left. And so they cut that off so that even when it can't, you keep the ground clearance. So that is a design maneuver, and you can see in the back there is again more ground clearance in the front here. Again, you see it gets very low here and then tails off. And I went to Photoshop and I measured this angle. So this approach angle is about 30 degrees and this departure angle is about 25 degrees. And I think this approach angle is somewhere in between the two, in like high 20s. And then guessing ground clearance. So this is a guesstimate. There's no exact numbers, but the Aptera uses 195 R40 195 45 R16 tires, and so that means that the sidewall height is about 3.5 inches. And so if you look at 3.5 inches, it looks like it's the entire sidewall height plus another 2 inches or so, 2-3 inches. So it's probably between 6 and 7 inches. If you measure it, compare it to this guy's foot, if he's to scale, it's about twice the distance between the ground to his lateral malleolus and up. I measured that on myself, and that's about 6 to 7 inches here. So I think the belly pan clearance is about 6 to 7 inches, and the ground clearance is about the same. And in the back, it's a little bit higher, maybe 8 inches. These are very, very, very rough numbers, but you can see that it is quite a bit higher ground clearance than the road version of the off-road. And then the other interesting thing is this little nub in here. I thought this was the shadow from the rocks in the back, but I believe this is actually a part of the vehicle, and I think it's some kind of light on. And I guess they decided that it's important to get it protruding out or have a hood over it rather than making it flush. That is definitely going to impact the aerodynamics a little bit, and of course, raising these wheel covers up greatly impacts aerodynamics. I would like to talk to one of the aerodynamics engineers and ask them how much of a difference that makes. Because I don't, is it like a 10% hit? Is it a 5% hit? I don't know. Is it a 25% hit? Um, the, when I was talking to Kanab, the guy who was designing the wheel pants, he said that a rotating mass in the airstream makes a huge difference into the aerodynamics. So the wheel covers are very important for aerodynamics, but hard to know how much a few inches difference here makes. But this is the off-road version. Does not look too different from the road version. And as you can see, you know, this thing has a wheelbase of 188 inches, which is about 10 inches longer than a Jeep Wrangler. And so with the belly pan being like 6 inches to maybe 7 inches off the ground at most, you could high center this vehicle if you'd really take it off road. So I think off road is probably a little bit of a misnomer. It probably is more suited for like dirt roads rather than off road or like kind of poorly maintained roads. And maybe off road if you're going through something like this where there's just not, but you're not going to go rock crawling or anything in this thing. I mean, I'm not an experienced off-roader or anything, but you know, this is not the kind of car you're going to take to like to Moab and go crawling around the rocks there. I mean, that's not the intent of this vehicle. But I think you can definitely do, like, I would be interested to take it on like Forest Service roads and dirt roads in the mountains, and I think it could handle much of that, and that shouldn't be a problem. I'm not, I don't know what I think about this little nubbin in the front. I don't like the look of it. The the wheel covers look fine. I do like prefer the look of the road vehicle. Looks sleeker and more aerodynamic. But if you live on a dirt road or you just need that, I think this is a looks like a pretty nice compromise. Uh, Except for, yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not sure if that's necessary or not. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Okay, well, tell me what you guys think about the off-road version. Do you like the look of it? Do you not like the look of it? How off-road capable do you think it is? And would you consider this over this if given the option? All right, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.